Hi, it's John from Crafts by John UK. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card, and it's actually a customer order for 10 of these, so I'm going to show you how I batch make. It's a nice Christmas card. It's got a embossed background, which I've kind of inked gently in green. It's then got a picture of an organ because the person who's ordered it has recently acquired one of these. And we've got a funny Christmas sentiment that says, pull out all the stops, it's Christmas. You can see there's a lot of detail on this card. The embossing is nice. I've backed it with a red border, and I've got a little bit of red washi tape down the side there just to kind of tie it all in together. This is a useful layout if you want to do some kind of a card with a photograph. Customers often say, oh, please can you put a picture of my niece or this baby on it, blah, blah, blah. How do you do that? Well, an easy way of doing it is like this, where you make the photo the central point and then kind of work around it, which is exactly what I've done here. Anyway, if you're interested to see how I batch make a card like this, stay tuned. Okay, let's get started. First of all, I've got all my pieces made. So I've got 10 of these to make. I've already made one, which I've shown you. So I've got 9 of these backgrounds. This is just a piece of white 7x5 card, which I have put through the embossing folder, which is this one. Quite a nice little folder, and you could actually use both sides on this. So I've used the proud side, but you could actually use this side as well, and similarly color it with some ink. But anyway, I've done this one, and I've done it in a green, gently around the edge, just a little bit into the middle. I find when I'm batch making, it's easier to just get all the components ready so that I can actually just sort of then work through the process. I've got all my printed images, which is the organ. And then I've got all my sentiment pieces. So I've got 2 different ones. I've printed these on an A4 and then I've cut them all out. And then I've edged them with some Festive Berries Distress ink using my blender on a wooden mount. Basically, I've got 9 of the pull out all the stops, and I've got 9 of the It's Christmas as well. I've got my washi tape, and basically I'm just going to lay it together. So I take the first base. And how I do my washi tape to make sure I get it straight is I always put it on the grid on my cutting mat. So you can see here, I'm laying it down, and I'm laying it down so that the bottom corner is on the grid. And basically what I want to do is replicate what I did on the first one. So at this point, I grab my washi tape, and rather than messing around, I actually stick the washi tape to the table. So I will go in, and I know I did it at it's not actually 2 centimeters, it's 2 squares, but anyway, I put that down and lift it up, and then I just flip that over at the back, basically. There we go. The thing with washi tape is if you leave it proud on the front, it often comes off because it's quite a low tack tape. It's always better to stick it over the end. That's my first piece. So the second piece is pull out all the stops at the top. And then the third piece is Christmas at the bottom. And then obviously I put my photograph in between. So first of all, I'm just going to put some double-sided on the back of these 2 pieces. Just got some standard double-sided tape, and I just roughly estimate how long it needs to be. Stick that in the middle there, and similarly with the smaller one. Okay, so using my tweezers to just lift the corner of the tape. Let's roughly work out where we need to go. Now, how I do this typically, when I do text top and bottom, I usually get the same, roughly the same, top and bottom in the corner that's farthest away. So I will try and do the same thing again. So I should take my pull out all the stops. I'm just going to pull that down so I can see it. So I'll probably put that somewhere like that. And obviously you've got to try and make sure you get it straight. I mean, it's not absolutely precise, but get it as straight as you can. There we go. So there's our top. And then I'll do the same with the bottom. I'm going to do this one. So I don't want it completely off the washi tape. So I'm actually going to do it slightly further in. There we go. And then I've actually got one of the photos here, which I have stuck little lift up pads on. I did this because I want the photo to really stand out. So I've covered the back, well, not covered, but I've used a whole load of these little pads. I would normally use tape, but I've actually run out. So I've used loads of these little pads just to lift the photograph from the base of the card. I find doing that gives it kind of more of a scrapbook type appearance. And it just also calls attention to the photograph, really, because you then get a kind of nice shadow around it. I have left a little white border around the photograph. I did consider doing it almost like a Polaroid instant picture, but the photograph is quite long, so that didn't really work. If it had been squarer, that's probably what I would have done. So I'm just collecting all these little tabs. And once I've done that, I can then position the photograph. Now, the big question, of course, on the wonk or square. If you do it square, there's a risk that you're going to screw it up. If you do it on the wonk, it's kind of more jaunty and a little bit more interesting. So I tend to do that. What I would typically do with something like this is I'd probably line up one corner with one of the corners of the tape. There we go. And the best way to flatten that down, not get fingerprints all over the photograph, because I have printed these out on glossy photo paper, is just turn it over. There we go. So that's actually most of the layout. And then all I need to do then, I've got a piece of red card here, sorry, and it's clearly not white card. And basically I stick some double-sided on this layer, stick that down. You could use glue, but I tend to prefer to use double-sided. Just stick that together. I always put a piece in the middle as well, just to stop it lifting. Usually kind of diagonally across the card. Let's pick those tapes off. This is just very basic double-sided tape. I get it from Amazon. I think it's 3 rolls for £6, something like that. I know you can get cheaper in Hobbycraft, but I tend to buy whatever's the cheapest. A bit like glue. To me, it really doesn't make any difference on the quality. There we go. Line that up just by eye. And then I always trim afterwards. So some people trim their red area before and then spend ages agonizing and lining it up. I think stick it down. It's easier then to trim it. Again, just by eye once it's laid down. Just trying to make sure that's pretty much even and then commit. There we go. And then I'm just going to grab a 7x5 card blank. Okay, I found myself a 7x5 card blank. Just going to fold that and use my bone folder to just make sure I get that nicely crisp. Do it one side, always check it the other. There we go. And then again, double-sided tape on the back. And this is going to be a little production line because I've got to just repeat this same process for 9 cards. When I make Christmas cards, I do tend to batch make, so I make usually 2 or 3 of each design. If I come up with one that I really like, maybe make more. But if I do it, I follow this same process where I make all the elements and then just assemble them all together at the end. Just find it's easier to do it that way, because the thought goes into the making of all the different components rather than having to make one, think the whole thing through, stops and starts, and then make the next one. I think it's easier to kind of make all the bits and then just zip through putting them all together at the end. There we go. So bunny ears technique. Actually, let me just double check I've got that card the right way around. Yes, I have. Bunny ears so that I can line that up. Go, and then press down firmly and remove the tape. And then a little trick, always go around with your bone folder afterwards and just press down that bottom layer. That makes sure that all your edges are properly down. There we go. So there's the original and there's the second one, and they look pretty much the same, which is exactly what I want. So only another 8 to go. If you've enjoyed that, maybe check out my other videos. There's lots on my channel. There are technique videos and full card videos. But thanks for watching. Maybe if you enjoyed it, give me a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you again.